For those who knew my father intimately while he was alive, or have studied about him, you would agree that beyond the mean of the no-nonsense military general was a meek and kind-hearted man.
I wish to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to be part of today's occasion in remembrance of a great African leader, General Murtala Muhammed.
The vision he enunciated made it possible in 1976, at a time when he was no longer alive, for Nigerian women to attain universal suffrage. Yes, Nigerian women only attained universal suffrage in 1976.
I'd like to say that for me, when I think of the late general and his life, a few things come to mind when you do the parallels with the vision he had of our country. The first was his age. To think that he was 37. And by then he had been a general officer commanding in the Civil War. He had been a federal minister, and then he was head of state.
The ideals of good governance, democracy, and development promoted by the Murtala Muhammed Foundation over the past 4 decades respond to the aspiration of people in Nigeria and all African countries as they strive to implement policies to provide higher standard of living and participation of their peoples in national affairs.
General Muhammad believed that African countries had the capacity for self-rule and the ability to lead progressive governments that delivered on the dividends of peace and prosperity to the people of Africa.
We've made some mistakes, but on the whole, we've made progress. And much of that progress owes to the vision of one man, Murtala Muhammed.
My prayer every morning actually is not just that we have free, fair, credible and honest elections, but that we also have acceptable elections.
Elections are an opportunity for the people to exercise their power. The definition of democracy is the power belongs to the people.
Those at the top feel they're at the top, they control everything, but you are the ones who control everything. The leader is there as a leader to guide, to help, but you are the ones who determine who becomes the leader.
It is extremely important for the older generation, while they are alive, to hand this country over to the next generation and watch them and guide them so that when they are gone, they are happy.
Democracy is about building hope. It's about a tomorrow that can be better than today, a next generation that can do better than the current generation.
Elections are peaceful when all stakeholders understand their primary responsibilities and undertake their respective roles with utmost respect for the rule of law.
The whole concept of the will of the people being expressed at the polls, and both winners and losers accepting it, and nobody trying to use violence to impose their will, but simply working harder to convince their fellow citizens that their position, their aims, their goals, their way of governing is the best. That is the way of democracy, and I am, for my part, very happy to be here to see the commitment.
So the fact that 2 days before the polls, international observers, these strong representatives of the international community are here speaking at the Murtala Muhammed Foundation lecture about what it is that they want to see as the outcome of these elections. We want free, we want participatory, we want fair, we want credible elections. It's really something, because that's how policy gets set, and that's also how we begin to change mindsets. We begin to create ideas, that reverberate across the nation.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Murtala Muhammed Foundation and the entire members of the Murtala Muhammed family, I wish to express our profound gratitude to all of you for taking the time to honor our invitation to commemorate our late father and former head of state, General Murtala Muhammed.